Hello and welcome to the SEGA Nerdcast, episode 52. I am Chris, the editor of SEGA Nerds, and with me this week we have the lovely Graham.
Hello.
We have one of our new writers who's joining us for the very first time. My good friend Blake is joining us.
How do you do, gents?
How's it going, man? I'm glad for you to join the show. Also, we have B here with us today.
Dogs of the AMS.
And joining us for a great interview later on in the show, the author of the SEGA Master System Encyclopedia, Derek Slayton, joins us.
Hey, how we doing today?
Very, very good. So before we get going and started into the show, as always, we'd like to talk about what we've been doing this week. And Derek, since you're our guest today, we'd like you to go ahead and start us off. Let us know what you've been up to and what you've been doing this week.
I have been hard at work on the next book project, which is on the Atari 2600, and spent the first part of the Memorial Day weekend working on a low-budget zombie movie.
Ooh.
So it's been an interesting weekend so far.
Nice. So you're are you a filmmaker as well?
I'm a photographer, so I was on set doing promo shots and all of that of the zombies.
That sounds awesome. Is there anything you can tell us about the movie?
Honestly, I know absolutely nothing about it. I just, it was just a friend of a friend, and hey, you want to come take photos like zombies? Sure, I'm in. So,
who would say no to that? That's the thing.
Yeah, that's.
That sounds pretty awesome. So you're actually going to be doing another book on the 2800. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be a much larger project. It's right now it's shaping up to be 3 volumes, so it's I gotta have a fair amount of work ahead of me.
It sounds like it. Blake, since you are the other new guy on the show, why don't you go next and tell us what you've been up to?
Well, other than normal work stuff, I have been working on a review for Echo 2, the Tides of Time for Sega CD. So working on that for the site. Otherwise, pretty typical week. We've got the long weekend, which is nice. We had a failed attempt at going to DC yesterday, trying to go to the zoo. We got all the way there after planning to do it all week, and we got to the parking lot, and the parking lot was so full that the street was backed up. We stayed in line for half an hour, and finally just button-hooked it around and said, you know what, forget it. We're just going to go to Chuck E. Cheese instead. So we took the kids to Chuck E. Cheese for a good hour or so, and wound up saving ourselves the trouble of going to DC.
Wow.
Now, some people know Blake and I actually live fairly close to each other, about 10-15 minutes apart. I had Blake over last night for dinner. We were all hanging out and telling these old stories, like video game stories and stuff as we were kids and stuff. He told me this really great story that I wanted him to share with everyone. Basically, when him and his brothers were kind of going to be, I guess, moving apart, they had this giant video game collection with some really great games, and they had to try to figure out how they were going to split them all up. And so they came up with this really awesome plan to do it. So I'll put it over to you now, Blake, and you can explain it.
Okay, well, anyone who has brothers and sisters and had games when they were kids probably had games given to them by grandparents, parents, whatever, that belonged to everyone. So, well, this game belongs to everybody, right? Well, as we're all moving out of the house, parting ways, we decided we need to find some way of deciding who's going to take this game and who's going to take that game. So any game that had multiple ownership, like if I owned a game with my older brother, we would take that game, put it in a pile, and split the value of the game in half. Every game was worth $50. So he got $25 worth of credit, and I got $25 worth of credit, and we just kept track of all that. So between the three of us, we put all of these games that had joint ownership in there and tallied out how much credit each one of us has. And then we had basically an auction where we bid on the games using all of our credits. So if we wanted a particular game more than any other, we say, okay, well, I'm going to put in $70 of my credit to try and get Mega Man 7. You know, and what didn't include just Sega games. It was Super Nintendo, NES, Sega CD, so all kinds of stuff from really Saturn on back, maybe even some N64 games. I don't really recall. But we did videotape the whole thing. We videotaped it on video cassettes. I know I've got them. I saw them not too long ago in my basement, but I'm not sure how to transfer that onto a digital format. I don't have the ability to do it myself. But it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun doing it. I don't think I have very many of the games left anymore than I came away with, even ones I really wanted. And that may be a whole other story for another day. So,
We're gonna have to figure out a way to get that that video because I think that would be awesome to see that. So.
Yes.
We'll figure it out. Kopke is joining us. The magnificent Kopke has came onto the show. He's graced us with his presence. What have you been up to,
everyone.
buddy?
A lot of work this week. I had these meetings with Pepe Jeans, which is a clothing brand, and I've been developing something for them, so I had a lot of time with that. Also, what else I haven't been doing? Well, surviving the earthquakes, because Mexico City is having a lot of those these 2 past weeks. I mean, we had at least about 10 of those in the past 2 weeks.
Nice.
Also, I've been a little bit angry since yesterday because Atleti lost the Champions League final, but that's okay. I mean,
I love it. I just love how you transition from earthquakes to football. Amazing.
yeah, that's what I do. If you ever check my timeline on Twitter, I'm always like talking about something and then suddenly twisting to another thing. I like to do that.
Earthquakes, but I'm angry about the football team losing.
And also, what else have I been doing? I'm trying to do some backend stuff for the site today. That's what I've been doing, and lots of work, and most of them with illustration. Also, what else? I'm working for. I have a work gig for a solar panel company, so I'm developing a mascot for them. That's it.
Awesome, man. I love it.
Thank you.
What do you think you're gonna like? What's gonna be your thoughts on the mascot? Like, what are you thinking about doing with it?
Okay, they asked me to do Rabbit for the solar panel company, so I'm working on a rabbit.
Don't do a rabbit. I want it to maybe look like an old a mech, like a Japanese anime style mech made out of solar panels.
I proposed them a robot, but they said no. We want no robot. We want
a bunny mech. A mech with bunny ears.
No, they didn't want that. They wanted something familiar for the kids. Actually, the mascot is aimed for the kids, so illustrations towards that.
Oh, fair enough.
I guess kids would rather have a mech.
The
kids I know.
I will try to draw that in the week. Even if I have some spare time, I will do that and show it to you guys. That would be fun anyway.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, definitely.
Grammy boy, what have you been up to?
Whoa, what haven't I been up to? That's the real question. God, it's been so long. How long has it been since I've been on the show?
It's been at least like three weeks, it seems.
God,
yeah, we missed Raham's 60-second news section.
Oh yeah, man. I don't think anyone really missed that.
We missed that. What are we gonna do? How are we gonna read the news today? Because Raham isn't here. And,
Oh dear. You probably read it properly on how I do it, but yeah. God, I've been up to so much stuff lately. One thing, I had a massive chest infection a few weeks ago, which was not good. I could barely speak. So it's probably good I didn't come onto the show. But I've also, I can't remember if I started my new job when I last was on the show.
I think you did. I think you did tell us about it. So how's that going?
Yeah, so far so good. Been given some more projects to do. I've been writing like loads of press releases and white papers and stuff for our company. We just launched the website, but the website's rubbish. I don't want to show it to you guys because I hate it. We're going to redo the website again. But basically, it's a new company I've joined, and they're quite a new startup. And I sit next to a really cute girl in the office, so that's good. I've also got a new car because my commute was too long, and it's costing me like £70 a week in petrol, which was ridiculous. So I've got a better. Well, technically my car's worse, but it's more efficient, so that's good. And I also bought an old PlayStation 3. Yeah. So 3 new things have happened in my life in the last week. So I might. Well, I'll mention some of the games later on if we get time. But yeah, that's what's been going on really.
On behalf of Sony, let me welcome you to the PlayStation family. It's taken long enough. I've been trying to get Graham to get a PlayStation 3 for so long.
Yeah.
It's not happened.
It's not that I've never really wanted one, it's just that they've been too bloody expensive. And now the PS4's come out, the price of the pre-owned ones have dropped dramatically, so I managed to find a good deal. Got it with like 5 free games or something or whatever. And
he bought it used, and he had all this like crusty, like jizzy, like stuff on the controllers.
Yeah, the controller I got with it was not nice, but it still wasn't working properly. I took it back to the shop, and they didn't have any spare pre-owned ones to swap it with, so they just gave me a brand new controller. They just opened up a new box and went, there you go. I was like, sweet, I'm happy with that. Yeah, so it's annoying that, my camera's not working, so I can't show it to you, but you guys know what PlayStation 3 looks like. It's not that exciting.
What model is it?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
It's the 320GB Slim model.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so it's not the top. There was one which was 500GB, but that was way more expensive. So yeah, I opted for this bad boy.
You can just swap in any laptop. If you have like a spare laptop sitting around that you don't use anymore, you can just use a laptop hard drive in there.
Oh, I might have to do that because the games take up so much bloody space on the thing.
Yeah, I put in a 500 gig hard drive in my old one, and I was able to. I downloaded literally everything.
Yeah. Yeah, but so far so good. But I might explain more about that later on.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got some quibbles and some good things to say about it. But yeah. Anyway, awesome. There you go.
Okay, B, you're up next. What have you been up to?
Well, it's been busy. Lots of things changing. As I mentioned in the last podcast, I have started training for chemical dependency counseling. So lots of studies related to that. Alcohol is a disease, people. Stay away from it. No.
I can't stay away.
This is so good.
Yeah. It makes me such a more likable person.
Yeah, it makes parties more fun and you know, enjoying your games while drinking a beer, you know.
Okay, yeah. So it's just been studies and work, man. And a little fun stuff, I have been approached by quite a few indie developers on the Dreamcast scene, and I've officially joined their teams. I will be discussing more on that later today.
Awesome.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I got an email. I'm not gonna say what it is yet, but because we're gonna post it on the website. But we got an email from a new development company that's making a Dreamcast RPG. And it looks pretty cool. So we hope to have them on here soon, and we'll have a post about it in the coming week. So
exciting!
Yeah.
You're talking about Falco, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, that's the team I've joined, bro.
Yeah, it looks good.
Awesome.
Let me see. So I guess I'll go. I didn't tell you guys, but I don't know if I remember last week I was on the show and I was telling that I wasn't feeling very good. I was kind of sick. Turns out like the day after the show, I found out that I got pink eye last week. I just woke up the next day and my eye was completely like shut. It would not. I couldn't open it up. It's just all this nasty, crusty stuff coming out of it. And I went to the doctor. They're like, yeah, you have viral pink eye, and the viral part is really important because it means that I didn't get it from poop or anything like that. So no poop jokes or anything like that. It was all viral. But so they just gave me some drops that I had to put in my eye, and so I've been doing that, and it cleared up after like 3 or 4 days. But that really sucked. I mean, it was like I couldn't see out of my eye very well. It was my vision was really blurry and it was really itchy and stuff. And then I couldn't help, but I had to take care of my kids and stuff. Like my son, he's 2 years old. My wife works night shift, so I'm having to change diapers and put him in bed and everything like that. So I'm having to be like really, really sterile. Like I have to always be putting antibacterial stuff on my hands and just constantly wash anytime.
It'd have been hilarious as you were changing him, he peed in your other eye. You're good.
That would have been great, Graham. I would love if that happened.
Just you walking around the house, can't see anything. The kids are causing havoc everywhere. It's on fire or something. Oh, brilliant.
Aside from the pink eye, I got a new DVD collection in the mail because Blake, he likes to do this to me. He likes to send me links to stuff that he wants me to buy, and he knows I'm going to buy them.
That's not true. That's not true.
So he sent me this. He sent me a link. Godzilla collection on Amazon. It's like $20, and it's like 80% off.
That box set is nice.
And I had been drinking a lot that night, and so without even thinking or without even looking, I just bought it. And a couple days later, it came in, and I'm actually really happy with it. It has a ton of the old movies.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that. I was trying to look for it. I don't know where it's at offhand.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know where it might be.
Right, yeah, it's probably at your house now. But I watched because me and my sons, we were like really amped up for the new Godzilla movie. So I thought, throughout the week we'd watch some of the old ones. So we watched Gojira, which is the original one, and then we also watched Godzilla King of the Monsters, which is that was the American version of Gojira. I guess they bought out like 40 or 50 minutes of the original Gojira movie, and they cut in all this new footage. So it's kind of a I don't know, it's a little weird, but I enjoy that one too. I like the original one a little bit better. But then on Saturday morning, we went and watched the new Godzilla movie, and I have to say, I really, really enjoyed it. I know some people out there didn't like it very much. They were a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, they didn't know what they were talking about because this new movie is like very close to the original one. So I really enjoyed that one too.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. It's not like a balls to the wall action movie or anything like that. If you were looking for that type of movie, I think Pacific Rim is what you would be happy with, like just all out action all the time and everything. Because one of the things is, my son actually mentioned this as we were walking out. He's like, I really like the movie, but I just wish they would have showed Godzilla more. Because they slowly kind of like lead up to Godzilla throughout the movie. Like you'll see like little glimpses of him, or you'll see him like battling a monster, but you won't get to see it for very long. And they build it all up to like towards the end of the movie where it's like that's the epic, the apex of the movie where you get to see this awesome fight between Godzilla and some other monsters. Mm-hmm. And I really enjoyed it because, like you said, Kopke, it is very much a Godzilla movie. You know what I mean? It pays a lot of tribute to the original Gojira movie, but it's also I don't know. It really falls in line with the whole series, and I think it fits really, really well. So yeah, I really liked it.
There are like two ways of kaiju movies. The ones that are more about the human drama, that all humans are fucking up what they are doing, and the other one is more like kaiju action battles. So this one is more in the traditional one. So I think it really did well on making the script and making the story about it, and it actually makes more coherence. Is that the word in English?
Coherence?
Yeah, like to be
queer.
No. It's to be. How do you say that word in English? To know what you're doing, to be explicit on what you're talking about. So, okay. For example, the original Gamera movie is like the whole plot doesn't make sense at all. It's like, what are we gonna do with Gamera? Oh, just send it to space and and let's just get rid of the problem. And in this one, it's really well handled on how the plot is developing.
It's linear.
I think. Thank you.
Coherent.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie and I don't plan on seeing it anytime soon. Maybe when it's in the $1 theater. But that's just me. Okay. Nothing against the movie. But the director of the movie was explicitly clear that this is a serious movie. He said this is as serious as 9/11. That was his quote.
Oh.
So what were you guys expecting? Did you not see the trailers?
No, actually, I saw another movie by the same director. That's what's called Monster, which is about also kaijus. That
movie was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, that's really good. I was saying like, man, my country is so trashed up in that movie, and I was like, it's really fucked up. And I was saying, oh man, this guy is placed in Yucatan in Mexico City. That's not a geography stuff, but I really enjoy the movie.
I heard there's a trailer for Monsters 2 floating around.
I hope he does it. He really did a good job on that movie, so I was pretty excited that this guy was the director for Godzilla, and he did well. I really liked the movie.
Is Monsters the movie that was like basically just edited on a laptop or something? Like it's really cheap. It's really, really well done or something.
I don't know.
I remember hearing about that, and that all the special effects were added in after, just on a laptop, and it looks amazing. I'm pretty sure it's monsters.
One of the only, I guess, things that I will say that it kind of irked me a little bit, because it happens a lot whenever you have any sort of like military involvement in a movie. One of the main characters is this. He's a Navy lieutenant, and he's supposed to be an EOD troop, I guess. An explosive ordnance disposal guy. So they're the ones that go out and defuse bombs. Now, I don't know how they handle it in the Navy, but at least in the Air Force, the officers would never do anything like that. It would be all the enlisted guys who are the actual technicians that go out and handle that. So I don't know if in the Navy they actually have their officers go out and disassemble and dispose of bombs. So he has this specialty that he uses throughout the movie in different times and places. But one of the things that, I don't know if you guys, if you've seen any of the trailers, you'll see the part where these guys are all jumping out of an airplane and they're parachuting in, and they have this awesome red smoke coming out of their ankles for whatever reason. But it looks really cool.
The photography there is just awesome.
Right, so they have to do what's called a halo jump, which is a high altitude, low opening jump. You jump really high out of a plane and you open your parachutes at the last possible moment to get into an area. But somehow this guy just decides that he's going to go onto this jump with these Air Force paratrooper guys. But he would never have any sort of training to be able to know how to do this. Like, any sort of EOD guy would never know how to jump out of an airplane, but they just kind of go ahead and
bungee jumping at Six Flags, man.
Yeah, it was I don't know. I was at that point I was like, come on, man, this would never happen. But aside from that, everything was as realistic as possible when you have like a 700-foot giant monster walking around.
Yeah, I also saw those kind of technical stuff. Like, for example, when the military guy gets rescued at the end, I mean, the helicopter couldn't work because there was a magnetic pulse after the explosion, so the helicopter practically would be shut down instead of rescuing the guy. So it doesn't make sense. But I made it like, well, it is a sci-fi movie, so I'll give it a rest with that.
There you go. All right, I think that's going to do it for what we've been up to. That's a really long intro. So Graham, since you're back this week, do you want to run us through the news? And we won't do the Graham's news in 60 seconds, but we will try to speed things up as quickly as we can.
That's cool. I guess opening it is the new releases, and Warhammer 40k Kill Team has been released on Steam, which is awesome. It's at $10, $9.99 to be precise. It was released on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 back in 2011, so it's the first time it's out on the Steam, which is awesome. It's sorry, scrolling down a bit. Yeah, I can't really. What else? There's not really much more to say on that one, actually, I guess.
Yeah, we actually have a review up. I'm trying to pull it up on the site right now. So here we go. So Andrew reviewed it. He said basically it's a decent game if you're a fan of Warhammer 40k or if you like twin stick shooters. But if you're not, there's not a lot for you here.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. Apparently it's been adapted quite well for the PC.
So if you have $10 isn't that big of an asking price. So I guess this game, I don't know if you mentioned it, Graham, but yeah, it was released back in 2000. The PS and has the license. They brought it over onto Steam for the first time. This is like the big thing, and along with that, Sega slashed the prices on all the Warhammer 40k games on Steam by 50%. So you can actually go in and get a lot of these games for. I don't know if they're. There you go.
Yeah, awesome.
Graham.
Cool. Hello.
Yep, you can keep going.
Okay, good. You keep cutting out when it doesn't matter. Bit of bad news. There's no Summer of Sonic this year. So Summer of Sonic 2014 is not happening, which has been officially announced. But there is Sonic Boom, which is heading to New York City. Woo! Yeah, and the Summer of Sonic organizer said, due to the nature of how the annual event is organized, each Summer of Sonic event hinges on the availability of key team players as they build the show in their spare time, and effectively they can't all make it this year, which is really sad. But seeing how they've done it in the past years, it would be really bad if they couldn't. Not everyone could get involved. So it's kind of good. I think they might have postponed it this year because it takes so much effort to actually get it off the ground. As some of you might have heard in a recent interview we did with them, which was pretty cool. Sonic Boom, the event, not the cartoon series or the game, is heading to. Moving from St. Louis to New York City on October the 4th in the Grand Ballroom of the Manhattan Center.
I love how you just said that, St. Louis.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we're back in like the old West.
Is that not how it's
We're
said?
heading out to St. Louis.
That is the official pronunciation of it. It's like we call it St. Louis, but it's actually a French word or something, so it's supposed to be Louis.
Yeah, I thought it was St. Louis. Isn't that not what it is then?
No, the French say their language wrong.
But nobody pronounces it like that anymore.
Sorry, guys. St. Louis.
So we have an idea of what we're gonna do with Sonic Boom. We want to get as many people from the site going to Sonic Boom as we can. So Blake and myself, we're already planning on going out there to New York, and I think it's October 4th is when it's gonna happen. But we want Graham to be able to make it too. So we've come up with this plan, and it's still in the early stages right now. We need to find a way to raise money to bring Graham from England to New York City to be able to attend Sonic Boom. So we're thinking of starting some sort of like Indiegogo-like campaign to try to raise some money to bring Graham over here. The idea, though, is if we meet the minimum goals, we're going to have some stretch goals, too, that Blake is thinking of, some good ideas on stretch goals. But if we can raise enough money to get Graham over, the idea is Graham is going to wear, for the entirety of the Sonic Boom event, one of the female Sonic the Hedgehog outfits. Like the skirts, and he's going to have, like, you know, the nice, like, Mary Jane shoes, and we're going to have, like a sweet little, like bun for him and everything. It's going to be amazing. And so he's going to wear it for the whole thing. He's not going to wear panties with the outfit. So, you know, there's going to be that there. It's going to be. I think you'll look adorable, Graham. I'm really excited.
Oh, it's gonna look horrible, but I will do it. I will wear it if this happens. 'Cause, I'm definitely gonna need to shave my legs though, because no one wants to see
You
that.
have to. You have to have the hair sticking out of the leggings.
Really?
That's what everyone wants to see.
What would be better though, like me actually like waxing my legs and having that on video, and you can see my pain just to wear the stupid dress, or not, and just having very hairy legs walking around.
I think that would be a good idea too. Like if we go, because one of the things Graham said is like if we're gonna do this, we should actually like make some sort of like mini documentary or something like that. I think that's a great idea, and maybe we can actually do something with like a DVD of it or something once we're finished. But that would be great if we have Graham before the event and we take him out to some sort of like beauty parlor and he has to get his legs waxed and everything. A full body wax, so, including Brazilian wax. We're gonna have him done. The whole thing. You're gonna be like a newborn baby when we're done with you, Graham.
Oh my god.
And it's gonna be amazing. And then and then the women will come running to you. You'll be the
The belle of the ball.
Good luck finding a camera guy for that one.
That's gonna but that will happen if that can go ahead. That's gonna happen. It's gonna be painful.
I will probably put up whatever it takes of my own money to be able to make that happen. I'll tell you that.
Thanks, buddy. Man, let's move on. Sega America put up a pretty funny PR slide from MomoCon 2014. It said things we can't answer, which was pretty funny. There's things I won't go through the whole list, but there's the obvious things like where's Shenmue 3? Will there ever be a Dreamcast 2? What latest news on PSO2? And then like some other ones like. Will Yu Suzuki maybe ever someday, hypothetically, maybe make another Shenmue? What about Shamu 3? Well, on Quest for Revenge. There's a slide if you can see it there on the screen. Yep. That's yeah, that happened, and quite a few like people like tweeted stuff about it. Do you want me to go through the list of tweets? Or?
Yeah. Why don't you go through some of them and mention some of the ones that they said? 'Cause we basically asked people because there was it was kind of like a polar reaction on social media. Some people thought it was funny, which I think it was meant to be, but other people, as you know, it's the internet, got upset by it, and you're pretty mad that they felt that Sega was almost like making fun of them or not taking them serious. So they were upset. So here's some of the responses.
Yeah, well, the Sega channel said, "It seems to me Sega is moving on the Shenmue thing for the Dreamcast too." Yeah, I can never pronounce this guy's name. Ty Twinney, is that it?
Ty Twinney, yeah.
Yeah, I think Sega is trying to quell the fans who keep on pressuring for new entries of classic series because regional reasons. I'm trying to find one of the ones which is Purple Cushes says it's funny, but I hope PSO2 and Shenmue are actually addressed in the near future, or else this is just cruel. Also, where's Echo 3? So I guess that's one person who's a bit like on the edge of whether it's funny or not. Ashley the Dragon says, I find it funny. It reminds me of how Sega America used to joke/troll in the 90s. Love it, want more? Which is pretty true, because Sega back in the day, they used to love this sort of thing. Nostalgia Ninja, I'm this one nerve to talk about it in the first place. It sounds almost like a bash between Shenmue and PSO2. And Blast68K says, are these crappy Sonic fan character questions really asked? Really embarrassing. Brian Trusty, I thought it was funny, of course. I thought it was funny, of course. It still saddens me to see it. I just tell myself that they're trying to keep the Dreamcast 2 under wraps. Shenmue 3 along with HD as launch titles. So that's just a handful of the ones that were tweeted back at us.
I want to open this up to you guys, though. What do you guys make of this? Do you think it was just meant to be a lighthearted thing? Does it upset you in any way, or what do you guys think about?
I think it's funny, because it's ridiculous how many people ask about Shenmue 3 and like the Dreamcast 2 and stuff. I think it's a funny little pump back. I'm sure they're not trying to offend anybody. I think people need to lighten up a bit, maybe. It's kind of, I can understand that some people might get slightly upset because they want it so badly, but at the end of the day, there's reasons why Sega can't release these things or won't release them. But people keep asking them, so I'm sure from Sega's perspective, it's kind of like frustrating that it keeps happening. So, kind of a fun little dig, I reckon.
I have a question for Derek. Are you offended that Master System 4 or 5 is not on the list?
Frankly, I am. That's.
Sega fans should be asking, when is Sega going to bring all the 100 Master System upgrades that Tectoy has made in Brazil to America? That's what we want.
Actually, I would like to see that. There's some crazy stuff down in Brazil for the Master System.
They didn't say they can't answer it either. So.
Yeah.
Like, what about you?
We should ask, because maybe they can answer that one.
I don't have any real serious opinion about this. This is a gag. I just took it real lightheartedly. You look at all the different questions they ask at the bottom. They're just playing around with it. Yeah. And the internet going nuts. The internet does what it does. Although that question about HD Night Trap, Sega needs to stop screwing around with that, because that's some serious stuff.
Yeah,
that has to happen, and I'm going to keep trolling them until it does.
That's funny, because I guess the creator of Night Trap recently said that he wants to relaunch Night Trap and bring it up to new either some sort of new consoles or just kind of like a re-release of Night Trap. So it might actually happen. Now, the only thing I do want to mention one thing, like you guys, I didn't get mad at this because I think it is lighthearted. We know a lot of the Sega community people, and they like to joke around and they like to have good times. So they're good people, they're people just like everyone else, and I think they're just having a little bit of fun with it. However, the one thing that I can see people getting a little bit upset about is the PSO2 bullets, because that's one that Sega has actually said that, hey, we're going to release PSO2 in North America, and they said originally that it was supposed to come out in early 2013, and they really haven't given a real good, solid answer as to why they haven't released it yet. All they say is like, okay, the game's been delayed. The game's been delayed. It's been delayed. That's all they'll really say on it. They won't come out and say, okay, it's been delayed, and here's why it's been delayed, or this is why we aren't going to be able to do it right now. They haven't given a good answer on that, and I think if they were just able to do that, then they would get people stop asking these questions all the time. And really what I think it is maybe they just don't know. Maybe Sega of Japan just hasn't bothered telling them, and they may not be able to really answer that. They may know or they may not know, and I think they probably really just they aren't in the loop on really what Sega of Japan is doing with PSO2 at this point. So I can understand if people get a little irked on the PSO2 one, but other than that, yeah, I think it's just kind of fun and games and stuff. So,
well, look at this slide. It says things we can't answer. It doesn't say please stop asking these questions.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So just
They're
because they don't have an
saying-
answer now doesn't mean that they're saying stop asking. And honestly, the second everyone stops asking the questions is when we're guaranteed to never get any of that stuff. So I wouldn't advise anyone to stop asking. Just don't expect an answer necessarily.
Yeah, and
tomorrow.
actually,
if anything, ask more, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But
Badger them to death.
to Chris's point, I would like to add that communication is very important. We're all mature about this. We had a great laugh about it. Some questions could have been phrased better, but overall it was funny. However, communication is important. I would like to point out at Capcom. They have a game called Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. I don't know if you guys played it. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
that game called Miles Edgeworth Ace Attorney or something like that. And there's a sequel to that that has not made it out in America. Now, I've read Capcom's communication, and like when it came out on the DS, so the DS was dying, so Capcom communicated that to their fans, and then they said that the team has disbanded, Capcom dissolved the team, so it's very difficult for us to try to get that game. But they kept the fans in the loop, like I remember back in 2001. Like, people were extremely pissed off that Shenmue 2 was not coming to the Dreamcast. Charles Belfield went to IGN and he gave a very passionate interview. Okay, the interviewer couldn't even ask questions and he went on for pages. He explained the entire business model. He was like, Shenmue requires marketing. Okay, we can't just put out our best game and expect it to go off the shelves. We need somebody to fund a massive advertising campaign. Sega does not have the resources to do that. And if you communicate that to the fans, I'm sure the sane ones would understand. So PSO2 deserves explanation, and even if Sega of Japan is not doing it, just share the business side of it. People will understand.
yeah.
That's pretty
Well,
fair.
It
Silence
also has another side to this. I mean, there are a lot of people in community that are really aggressive sometimes, and it's kind of tiring for the guys that are handling the Sega community stuff. They're humans too, and actually sometimes they are really aggressive on what they say. Maybe this also is a way to stress them out of having all these questions all the time that are really aggressive. I think it's kind of a joke, and we should take it like that. So.
Yeah. No, I completely understand. I had a laugh at it. I was just adding to Chris's point that some things can be handled better, but to me, I'm more of a retro gamer, so I don't really care.
Yeah, I think I think they have their hands tied on this because maybe Sega of Japan that's saying you can't talk about it, and that's maybe part of the reason we can get those answers, or maybe that's a company policy not to do that, and they have to do what the company says.
True, but like Chris and Graham wrote an excellent article a month back where they discussed the logistics of Phantasy Star Online with Phantasy Star Nova. Just have an intellectual discussion. Your fans are intelligent sometimes. If you cannot do it on the forum because trolling is going on, I completely understand that. Go to a proper platform. Just have an intellectual discussion. Don't say Sega of Japan has forbidden me. I don't know. I'm just speaking as a psychologist.
Yeah. What I think Sega of America is lacking up is a way to make sure the community gets that kind of response they're seeking for. Like, all they have is this Twitter account, and that's it, and maybe the blog, but they never open like a proper channel to address this kind of issues with the community.
Well, sir, in 2001 we didn't have Twitter or Facebook.
Okay.
That is true. Yeah.
And
one of the things that I want to say like really quickly before we move on, my favorite bullet though was can Sega make my custom Sonic fan character canon? I named him and everything. Now I completely understand where they're coming from this one, because back in the day, Graham and I used to get emails weekly from fans coming up with either ideas for a new Sega game or something. For some reason, they thought that we were Sega, so they would come to us all the time and come up with these just crazy ideas. And so we got these kind of things all the time. I think maybe we should just come back and make a post on the forums or something like that and just put some of the crazy ideas that we got on there. I think that might be kind of funny. But yeah, so I could definitely see how they get a little
Are you
tired from that.
That we are not Sega? Because Jerry just wrote a massive Master System book.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Derek. You thought we were Sega of America, but anyway, yeah. So I think that pretty much does it for that. There you go.
Yeah, and this sort of ties in with that, actually. If you haven't heard, Sega of Japan has renewed the Shenmue trademark. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
And literally, the internet freaked out. Yeah. Basically, well, you know, obviously everyone's thinking, oh my god, Shenmue 3, it's happening. You know, especially like there's, as was pointed out, there's because E3's coming up. You could have the Shenmue E3 sort of hashtag, as it were, which is perfect, as you see in the post there. But it's, I think if you get your level head, it's probably just Sega trying to keep the trademark, because every company does this. If they've got an IP, they trademark their games, and then when their trademark runs out, they re-trademark it. Even if they haven't got plans to reuse it, they just don't want other companies stealing it. However, let's keep on like the brighter side of things. It could happen potentially, because there was if you didn't know, this Shenmue trademark lapsed. I think was it last year or earlier this year?
It was a few months ago. Like that's when, yeah.
Yeah, so people were like, "Oh my god, Shenmue!" Sega's just like they don't care about Shenmue. Oh my god! But now they've re-trademarked it. Potentially, you know, it could potentially happen. Let's keep positive, I guess, but don't go completely nuts. You know. Also, we actually had the Corey Marshall, who was the English actor for Ryo Hazuki for Shenmue. We interviewed him. When was that actually? That was like
last year.
It was last year. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
and he confirmed that he hasn't done any recent voice work on anything Shenmue related. So, you know, potentially, if they are planning on Shenmue 3, they haven't started it yet, or at least they haven't started any US work on it yet. So I guess keep an eye out. Really, have you guys got anything to add to that?
Maybe they replaced him with with was it Sutherland? What's his first name? Who they replaced?
Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer, thank you, Kiefer Sutherland. He's replacing everyone these days. So could you imagine Kiefer Sutherland doing Ryo Hazuki's?
He can only do it in that tense voice in 24, like, listen to me, oh my god. Can't explain that right now. You just gotta trust me, damn it.
Like, Fukusan, get the fuck out of here, you dumbass.
I need to find some sailors. Don't ask me why. I can't tell you. Too tough. I don't have enough time to explain. Brilliant. Yeah. So there you go.
Well, maybe the other side of this is Shenmue 1 and 2 re-releases.
Yeah. That's what everyone else wants as well. Yeah. Other than Shenmue 3, a nice HD remake of the first two, which is really awesome.
What we're probably going to get is a Shenmue mobile game that's some sort of Bejeweled or Candy Crush clone. Just swap the little toys, little Alex Kidd toy, and all the little
driving simulator.
Flappy Rio.
That just sounds wrong, bro.
No, it would be more like forklift.
No.
I'd actually probably play it if it was some sort of forklift game, actually.
Yeah, forklift.
Man, oh god. But that ties in with our next announcement, really. And Sega's announced Super Monkey Ball Bounce, woo! Which is an iOS and Android game, and it kind of looks a bit like a Peggle ripoff. It's implements Pachinko-inspired gameplay mechanics, where AI and his friends battle against Professor, I can never pronounce his name, Boskis, and his minions. Do you want to play the video there? Awesome.
I'm ahead of you.
Oh yeah.
Dad.
You know, so I never played Peggle before, so when people are started saying it's a Peggle ripoff, I'm like, what's Peggle? I don't know. It looks like pachinko to me.
Exactly. The same, like I had never played Temple Run, before Sonic Dash.
No, me neither.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
So here's some of the screens of it. I don't know. I mean
Yeah. I think it is more pachinko. I can sort of understand the Peggle side of things. I only played Peggle years ago. I can't really remember it, but.
And the only pachinko I've ever played is in Shenmue.
Same here, actually.
That's the only time I've ever.
I've seen the machines in Japan, and they look really cool, but I've never actually played it in Japan because, I got to.
Speaking of your time in Japan, Graham, while we were eating dinner last night, we watched some of the old videos of your time when you were at the Tokyo Game Show in 2007. It was we were all cracking up at that last night. It was
Jesus Christ!
Like hearing you, like your plan to break into the event hall. If you have not seen this and you're listening to this, go to our YouTube page. It's youtube.com/user/Sega Nerds. Go to the playlist and see Tokyo Game Show 2007. You can see all of Graham's crazy videos from there. They're hilarious. It's a lot of fun.
Go right now. Stop right now and just go right now.
Yeah, don't care about the rest of this show. Oh man, I had a really cheap video camera as well. I think I spent £30 on it, and it's second hand, and it used AA batteries. Like,
Oh my god!
It's how bad it was. It was so bad, that camera.
Oh my god!
God.
Do you ever buy anything new?
I can't afford anything. That's why we need someone to pay for me to go to America.
We need to get a used Sonic costume.
Right, exactly. Don't expect us to buy that brand new, Graham. We're gonna have that.
A used, smelly one.
Brilliant. No, I still wear it, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially if there's used tights as well. Lovely. Oh dear. Yeah. Anything else to add to this Monkey Ball one? Not really.
Yeah.
I played Peggle on my Xbox a little bit. I've got it on 360. It's fine. I understand why some people like it. Honestly, I'm a little bit jazzed this is coming out because it gives me a way to play it and not give EA money. So, yeah, find a way to give Sega money for it and screw EA at the same time.
Yeah.
So I was happy enough to see that they'd announced this.
Nice.
Awesome.
Last up, I think I'm going to bring this over to B now, Graham, because he posted the Power of Coin review on the site this week, and he wanted to talk a little bit about that. So it's on you now, B.
Well, let's start with in the beginning. 1991, Yuji Naka released a little-known game called Sonic the Hedgehog. Since that day, he has gone to define everything Sega to me. So when he departed from Sega in 2006, I have been following his career. And I have to say that his career has been nothing short of legendary. He has released over a dozen games on iPhone and Android, and I plan to review each and every one of them. In addition to games, he's also released apps that I will be discussing in the future. But it was a plan that was, I've been working on for quite some time. It's just a matter of time where I can get to write it. But then it was like about 10 days ago, Chris posted that Sega has made a game called Dragon Coins, and it employs strategy elements to a traditional coin dozer format. And I was like, what the hell is that? Because Yuji Naka did the exact same thing a year ago. He took a simple concept of coin dozer, he added like mythical elements to it, he made it a god, like he made it a war of gods. Like you have all the gods, you have Hercules, not Hercules, you have like Athena, you have Zeus and all those guys, and it's like you use the coin dozer format, the more coins you get, the more money you have, and you can launch attacks against the god, or gods for that matter. And he utilized elements in it, like you lock certain coins and you can get a flood on screen. Can we get the trailer to play?
It's already playing.
Oh, there we go. So right here, you just saw the flood on the screen, So it's like really cool. It's got camera angles going on. It's got voice acting. It was released actually 3 years ago, and I haven't played Dragon of Coin, but I strongly urge everybody here who's listening to check out Power of Coin. It's absolutely free. It predates Dragon Coin by 3 years, and that's the real Sega game I think you guys need to check out. I'm sorry, this sort of turned into a little bit of a rant there. I'm not an aggressive person. Forgive me.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to do it for the news now.
Yes.
So that was our weekend Sega news. There's actually quite a bit of stuff there, which is good because sometimes there's literally nothing to talk about. Hopefully, we'll be getting some E3 news here soon.
And also, this month is Sonic's birthday, so we'll have more news about that too.
Oh yeah, June.
Oh yeah. How old is he going to be this year?
23 years. He's kind of an old man right now.
Oh, we'll be the same age. 23 years old. All right. So now we want to get into our interview with Derek, talk a little bit about the Master System Encyclopedia, which I have right here, the soft copy of it. Blake was the one who reviewed it on the site. He got the nice hardbound copy, which I'm a little bit jealous of. I won't lie. But Derek, first off, can you talk to us just a little bit about how you first got the idea to write this encyclopedia?
Well, this was a project to help me deal with my midlife crisis. In 2008, like a lot of people, I lost my career, so I was trying to figure out some way to pass the time, and I decided I wanted to write a book on video games. The reason I chose the Sega Master System was because early 2009 or mid 2009, there was a Game Informer issue that had the top 200 games of all time, and outside of Phantasy Star, there wasn't a Master System title in the entire lot. And in fact, outside of 2 or 3 Genesis games, there wasn't anything. There were 3 Sega games in the entire 200 list.
Those sons of bitches.
Exactly. And Sega was really important to me growing up. The Genesis was my go-to system. Because of the power-based converter, I was able to play a lot of Master System games. So I decided for my first project to do a book on the Master System. Originally, I wrote just a short little game guide that was just nothing but text. It was like 100 pages. Then after that, I decided to just go big and just expand it, redo all the reviews, make them longer, and do all of it, add in screenshots, add in video for the or gameplay footage for the digital versions, and just see what happens. And but really it was the insult from Game Informer that really set me on the Sega path.
That's insane because, you could think of quite a few really good Master System games, but Ys didn't even make the list either.
Man.
Oh, well, the one that really hit me was Wonder Boy 3, which if it had come out on a better system, or not a better system, but a more widely available system, right. We would be talking about that in the same breath as Super Mario Brothers, Metroid. I mean, it was as far as looking at that game at the 8-bit era, just like how in-depth it was, how incredible the graphics and the music were.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's even sitting down and playing it today. That review took me the longest, mainly because when I started playing it, I played through the entire thing because I couldn't stop. But it still holds up very well today, and in a lot of ways, it holds up a lot better than a lot of the Nintendo games of the era that are heralded as the greatest of all time.
Yeah, actually, Lee is making a retrospective on Monster World Wonder Boy series, and they actually went really underrated, and there are extraordinary titles out there. I think Sega and Eastbound, I think it's Eastbound or Westbound, I don't remember, but
Westone, I think.
Westone, thank you.
Yeah.
West One, and they actually made really nice games out of those series. And what Lee is doing is that he's trying to get more people to play these extraordinary titles, and I think they are. I actually played a lot of those too.
Well, they just didn't have good luck with Wonder Boy 3. They just didn't have good luck with systems because they released a version of it for a 16-bit system, but they picked the TurboGrafx, which I think is the only system that sold less copies than the Master System. So.
That's sad. So tell us, I mean, how did your appreciation and fondness for Sega come about? Is that something that, just as a kid, like something connected with you about Sega games, or how did that happen?
Really, it was the Genesis was the system that really stuck with me, because it's like the big games for me, like the Phantasy Star series was like by far my favorite, and I just have some of the most fond memories of staying up till 3:30 in the morning trying to map out, Uzo Island on, Phantasy Star 2, and there were just so many games that just took up so much of my time that even I played a fair amount of, Nintendo and Super Nintendo, but it was really the Genesis that controlled my childhood.
Very nice. Talk a little bit about the process in actually coming up and making the book. Was it something that did you go and try to play every single one of these games to completion, or what was the idea behind that? Because I know you just said that Wonder Boy 3 you actually did play through completely, but what about the other games?
Generally, it's like my process for each review is I would play each game for a couple of hours, and it would be really just to get a good feel for it, because my old school video game skills aren't what they used to be, so being able to play every game to completion would just take far too long. And two, I really don't want to play games like Alf all the way through. I don't want to throw myself off a bridge. But yeah, I would play them for a few hours, get a good feel for them, take notes. Then I would have to go back, play through it again to capture all the screenshots to back up the things that I wrote about. Then I'd have to go back through, play it again to capture all the video footage for the digital versions. So, I mean, all told, I probably have, 5 to 7 hours into each article. And that's not including doing all the page layouts and everything, but just researching the capturing all the footage, and sorry, kind of tailed off there. But yeah, I have about 7-8 hours into each game.
Wow, that's incredible time-consuming. I can imagine doing that with that many games. Was there ever a point where you got discouraged or thought that, man, this is just too much? I bit off way more than I could chew. I don't know if I could actually handle this. And was there ever a point you thought that maybe you couldn't complete the book or anything like that?
I did, because doing a project of this scale was completely new to me. Doing the printing on demand, doing the digital versions, because both of those technologies were really, at least when I started the project, was brand new. So I had no clue what I was getting into. In fact, for the iPad version, I had to go out and buy a new computer and an iPad just to dive in and try it. And initially, I started out doing. I was going to break it up into multiple volumes, and I got the first volume out. It was way too expensive. It was way too expensive for what it was. Then, I mean, I probably took a few months off from even working on it, because just being demoralized like that, it's like, okay, I have this idea for what I want to do, but it's too expensive for anybody to buy it. And finally, then just one day something snapped, and it's like, you know what? I don't care if 2 people buy it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to have it on my shelf. If somebody ends up buying it, great. If not, at least I can check something off my bucket list. So it wasn't until that snapped in me, and it was like, okay, I'm not doing this as a commercial venture. I'm not doing this as people are actually going to buy this. I'm just going to, power through. I'm going to make this book. I'm going to do something I'm proud of, and we'll see what happens.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice. Blake, did you have a follow-up question you want to ask on that?
Yeah, this is actually back to the previous question. You're talking about how much time you spend with the games. You mentioned you played the Buster Douglas boxing game from an emulator. How many of the other games did you play with emulators? Did you actually play them all on a physical system?
In order to capture all of the footage and the screenshots, I had to go via emulator.
Okay.
It was just technological limitations. Because not only doing this, on the side, it was I had no budget for it, so bought a $99 PC and just dove in head first.
All right, cool.
Okay. As we were discussing in the production meeting, I've had experience on working on a Sega book as well. So when we did our book, we did Service Games, Rise and Fall of Sega, and the community immediately slammed us with how dare you say Fall of Sega? They just our book was on consoles, so we noticed that you encountered a similar problem, and people apparently had an issue with why is it called an encyclopedia. Did you look up those questions? How do you feel about that?
It's I initially, because I was starting out with going to do this in multiple volumes and eventually expand this to other systems. Mm-hmm. So at least when I started this, the reason I called it the Sega Master System Encyclopedia was because that's sort of the way I was approaching it. Multiple volumes, just in depth on the games, and yeah, I have taken some flack over. It's well, it's not a true encyclopedia, and it's not. The reviews, the way I describe them is it's edutainment, because I tried to do my best to make the reviews readable and entertaining to read. My inspiration for the way I wrote it was I assume y'all are familiar with the Brett Weiss books, the classic video game home console games. I just butchered the title. Classic home video games, excuse me. And I got those books, and I was the first volume of that, and I was really excited to sit down and read it and relive a bit of my childhood. And it was just such a dry read. And don't get me wrong, they're incredible for what they are. They're fantastic reference guides, but that wasn't what I wanted to read. So that's how I decided to go the sort of edutainment writing style. And it's once I decided to do that, it's one thing I want. Sorry, I'm rambling on here. I'm trying to find a point. Sorry, can we rephrase that one?
Yeah, do please.
Yeah. But yeah, with the encyclopedia, as far as getting hammered over it, it's the internet. No matter what I do, I'm going to be criticized for it. So.
But yeah, you did describe it's a labor of love. I can hear the passion and the intensity and the devotion and commitment you gave to this project. You already acknowledged that it would not matter to you if only 1 or 2 people read it, but it is an exhaustive effort. It took a whole year. It was very impressive. How do you think, there is obviously emulation, as you discussed earlier, but then now we have this excellent resource for anybody who wants the Master System guide. But do you think, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, they always get the Encore. There's always a massively promoted, compilation coming out. Do you think the Master System would ever get that?
I would hope that it would, but the reality is that at least here in America, the Master System was completely overlooked in favor of Nintendo. There were a few Master System games that were thrown onto the Sega Genesis Sonic collection for the PS3 and Xbox. But as far as a dedicated Master System collection, I would be shocked if something like that ever came out. And as a result of that, that's why I'm a big proponent of emulation, because without emulation, the vast majority of these games would just be lost to history.
However, emulation is something that is esoteric in nature. You won't expect the average GameStop consumer to be available of downloading an emulator and then torrenting ROMs, etc. So, I don't know. That's just a little grim note on such an amazing book. But while we are on the subject, I want to take your unique take on why you think the Master System was not successful.
The biggest reason was, in my opinion, was the lack of third-party games. I mean, they had superior technology. Because I mean, just compare the games. You know, look at Wonder Boy 3 versus pretty much anything on the original Nintendo, and it's just light years ahead of what Nintendo was doing.
Boom.
But yeah, but yeah, but without third-party support, I mean, it was all first-party games. I think they had like just a small handful of third-party games that came out, but you know, when Nintendo had 7 times the catalog, it was just too steep a hill for them to climb. Plus, with Nintendo, at the time, with their anti-competitive practices, it's like, okay, you're either making games for us or you're not.
Yeah.
So it's like very few companies could do both.
Yeah. Although it's kind of strange because in Europe, the Master System actually did pretty damn well, really, compared to the original Nintendo. So it's, even though those practices were sort of still going on, it just seems very strange that in the US the Master System really didn't take off, but in Europe it's still pretty big. I mean, over here people knew exactly what the Master System was. Like, it was Nintendo versus Sega. I guess back in the day in America, it wasn't so much Sega versus Nintendo at that point per se. I mean, Master System was there, but just didn't really seem to catch on as well. It's kind of a bit strange, really.
Yeah, I think the Master System was successful everywhere except the U.S. Yeah, I mean, in the U.S. it's relegated to a trivia question. I mean, it's like, who lost to Nintendo during the 8-bit? Yeah,
Yeah, we had Alex Kidd as a costume mascot on TV shows in Mexico. This
Wow.
was pretty funny.
wow.
It was one of the other things, though, too, is that Sega really didn't even handle distribution of the Master System. They made a deal with Tonka, the truck manufacturer, the toy trucks. So they handled all of that, and they thought that they were going to, get a good deal in it because they already had, the distribution supply lines and everything. They knew where to, how to do all that because Sega was just starting out with that. They didn't have that already set up. I think in hindsight they realized that was a mistake, and once they really got the Genesis rolling, they went back and took that deal away, and they were able to figure out how to stop the deal with Tonka. But that was another big issue with the Master System, along with the fact that Nintendo had ownership of pretty much all third parties, and no one wanted to upset the mighty Nintendo.
Chris, could you imagine if Sega did that with the Saturn? Like, hey, Dreamcast is successful. Maybe we should bring the Saturn back. Imagine how cool that would have been.
That would have been something. So, Derek, where can people find the book? Where can they go out and get a copy for themselves?
The best place to go is my website, thevgatv.com. It is available on Amazon, both in paperback and in hardback. If you are outside of the U.S., it's best to go to my website to purchase a copy because the hardback edition is available in Europe and in Australia via local printers, so you don't have to pay for international shipping.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah. And it's mostly on my website. It's the price is $35 plus shipping.
Cool.
For the hardback edition, and it varies a little bit from country to country due to the exchange rate, but since that changes on a daily basis, it's around the $35 U.S. price point.
Very nice. And you can, at your website, you also have links to the digital version of it as well, right?
Correct. It is available in the PDF version, just the static digital version. For the iBooks version for Macintosh, it's $2.99 a chapter. There's 4 volumes of it, but each game, in addition to the review and the screenshots, there's 60 to 90 seconds of gameplay footage included in it as well.
Oh, awesome.
Which is why it's broken up into 4 sections, because I think at least the initial ones were 200, 300, 400 megs apiece.
Oh. And that's still a great deal.
The future volumes would be. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say that's still an incredible deal. It's what, like $12 for the whole digital version if you're gonna do that on your tablet or whatever.
Yeah. And actually, apparently on the new Macintoshes, iBooks, you can actually do it on your desktop now too.
Oh, cool.
Mhm.
Very awesome. And then, so yeah, I mean, you can also, if you go out to the VGATV.com, there's also a link you can click and follow him on Facebook. Uh-oh. It's saying that's not available.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, how will we get the book?
Uh-oh, that's not good. I will have to... Thank you for alerting me to that. I have no idea why it's doing that. But yes, on my Facebook page, I am devoted to more than just SEGA. I do have the classic video game manual scan of the day, where I'll post an entire classic video game manual.
That's a great idea.
Whoa. Yeah.
We might have to co-op that one. I love stealing good ideas. That's one of the things. No, that's really awesome. I think I might actually be following you on Facebook. Maybe not, but I'll definitely do that. That sounds really cool. I'd like to keep up with that. But yeah, I mean I bought the book. I should say before we even got a review copy. I went out and bought it. I really like it. I take it into the bathroom with me every time I have to go number 2, and I'll try to get through one review every time I go poop, and that's 435 pages of great bathroom reading material for you. Not saying that this book is in any way, shape, or form bad or anything like that, but it's just a great book to have in your bathroom when you need some time to yourself. You can sit there and flip through it and learn more about the Sega Master System.
When you're on the throne, you can read.
When I get around to actually having a budget to do advertising in magazines, I am going to use that pull quote. It's like second order. It's great to read while you poop. I mean, that sells copies right there. I appreciate that.
Well, when I get the book, I'm going to keep it on my nightstand next to my bed.
Well, fine, if you want to do that. I have mine sitting on top of my toilet. So. Okay, thank you, for the wonderful interview right there. So yeah, everyone, check out the Master System Encyclopedia. Definitely go check that out. So moving on, we're gonna come up with a new segment that we actually did in the past on the old Nerdcast. So we're gonna bring it back. Because we want to shine some light on our forums and some of the things that are going on out there. And I want to just show this off a little bit because I really like what one of our forum members is doing. His name is Saturn Memories, and the name of the forum thread, originally enough, is Saturn Memories. He actually has a YouTube a channel devoted entirely to Saturn Memories, and basically what he does, he goes out and just does like long plays of Saturn games, and each time he comes up with a new game that he's done, he'll come out and actually post video of the game. And so this one he's playing F1 Challenge, and you can go on there and just kind of watch him play. He does quite a lot of footage on there. And it's really great. One of the things that I really like is he goes out and plays some of these games that you've never even heard about before. Sometimes they're import games, and other times they're just kind of obscure Sega Saturn games that you really haven't heard a lot about. So it's really great to be able to kind of learn more about the Saturn library without actually having to go out and spend money on importing some of these games and things like that. So.
And guys, I apologize. I just noticed the time, and we're running a bit long here, and I do need to run.
Okay.
Yeah, I greatly appreciate y'all having me on, and glad y'all enjoyed the book.
Thanks. We'll have to definitely have you on again, and chat about Sega, and good luck on the 2800 book. Before you go, where can people find you on Twitter? You have a Twitter account as well, right?
I do. I don't think I have logged in about a year, actually. It wasn't until you guys posted the review and mentioned my Twitter handle that I started getting notifications, and it reminded me that, I still have a Twitter account. And I honestly don't remember what the Twitter account address is.
I bet I can tell you in let's see here. We'll tell you that way everyone can go follow you and not see you update on Twitter.
We'll get you back on Twitter now. We'll follow you because you are doing a tremendous service to there we go.
At the VGA TV. There you go, right there. And look at that. Look at his adorable avatar right there.
Right, following.
It's Alex Kidd.
Yeah.
Oh, what a guy.
Yeah. So
yes. Once I get settled, I will start updating that again. So,
definitely. All right.
You're guilting me into that.
Thanks again, Derek. We enjoyed having you on, and thanks again.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Cheers, buddy.
Well, that was awesome. He had a tremendous amount of energy. You know, that was amazing. That somebody I never experienced the Monster System, but just hearing him talk about it, I was like, damn.
Graham, do you have your cat like sitting on your laptop?
He's right on my lap, purring. On me.
I can hear him. It sounds like
that's what that is.
It sounds very disturbing.
He's happy. He's
I can hear him. It's like.
Yeah, he's yeah. Sorry, I can't really angle my.
Throw him away.
I can't. No.
Oh wait.
No. He's as much a Sega fan as you guys. I think.
What's his name?
His name's Simon. Alex the Kid. That's his name. Sorry.
So, all right, go back on topic. Saturn Memories. Definitely check that out if you're looking for, you want to learn more about the Saturn and some of the library. Go out to the forums or SegaNerds.com and check out that thread. It's a really great thread. There's like 3 or 4 pages full of Saturn videos that you can find in there. And definitely once you do that, maybe go out and check out his channel and subscribe there, and that way you can kind of get up to date from there as well. So from here on out, week to week, if we have a good forum thread that we want to share with everyone, we're going to be doing that as well. So now, man, I thought we were going to be moving into what we've been playing, but we have our feature discussion. We'll run through this fairly quickly, though. Our feature discussion this week is, what is your favorite guilty pleasure Sega game? And before we give ours, we went out to the community, and they came back and told us some of their guilty pleasure games. At Nostalgia Ninja wrote in and said his is Puyo.
Puyo's nice. I don't think that's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, I didn't think either. I thought, a lot of people like Puyo. So
Puyo rocks.
If he's a jock or something at school, high school, and Puyo's probably not the most. It's not Call of Duty.
Yeah, maybe he was like the captain of the football team or something. He couldn't let everyone else know he was playing Puyo. And, he had like a reputation to uphold. And,
he's meant to be teabagging people on Call of Duty and stuff, but no.
Secretly, he's playing Puyo.
He's a wrestler, and he has an owlet tattooed on his back.
Awesome.
At A Winner Is You said Alien Storm is his guilty pleasure game.
Oh, I like that game as well.
Yeah,
and speaking of Saturn memories, he wrote in and said Toe Jam and Earl 2. He likes it more than the original, which seems to be some sort of heresy to a lot of people.
Yeah, that's heresy. That's right.
Well, I agree with him.
Whoa!
No, that's
I never liked the original Toe Jam and Earl. I don't know. I just never got it. Toe Jam and Earl 2 though was amazing.
The first one was amazing. It's one of the best Sega Genesis games out there. It was really
that's what
fun.
Everyone says. Every time I played it, I keep trying to go back and play it. And I just
The thing about the first one is you have to play it in 2-player mode. There has to be someone with you playing.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the thing.
Toe Jam and Earl 2 was also awesome in co-op.
Maybe you were just alone in a room and not playing in 2-player.
True, a little bit.
You have to do that.
Yeah, but well, I'm with you, Saturn Memories. You and me, buddy.
I'm not. You have to play that with a friend.
Oh man. Okay, right.
And then at Ashley the Dragon says, I have a little obsession with Sonic Edusoft. It should have been released. I would have played it to death as a kid.
What?
Sonic Edusoft is what she said.
Is that the educational thing?
I
No,
thought that was released. They were like, no, they changed it to Tails. They released Tails Pico or something, right?
Ah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're referring to.
Actually, Blake, in that issue of Sega Visions I let you borrow yesterday, there's a pullout. There's a few. If you look, there we go. If you look a little bit further into that issue, there's when they actually unveil the Pico is in there, and they show some of the games. So look towards the end.
I'll see what I find. Yeah, it's at the back, isn't it?
Yeah.
Apparently Sonic Edusoft was unreleased for the Master System, according to a quick search on the internet. I didn't realise it was unreleased. I was thinking of something different, though, I think. Well,
I think they rebranded it with Tails because Sonic's not much of a literate, you know.
Yeah.
Well, when your favorite food is chili dogs, you don't expect a lot from. Like... I actually might eat some chili dogs today too.
Man, I need a chili dog.
While we're waiting on Blake to find that, Graham, Stephen Frost replied on Twitter earlier that it's very tempting for him to actually put in and contribute to your Sonic Boom.
Woo! Yeah, do it.
Fundraiser if you wear the Sonic dress.
That's happening. If we reach target, it's happening.
It's gonna be like an episode of Pretty Woman. We're gonna just do an entire makeover. It's gonna be amazing. You're gonna have like your nails done, you're gonna go like a full mani-pedi.
Fantastic.
That's probably going to cost more to dress him up than it is going to bring him.
It's gonna be worth it. It will be worth it.
Man, we can have if we record it and document it, we can have some sort of montage scene.
Oh, we have to do a montage.
Meet
Like it's gonna be like in Dumb and Dumber. Like I'll be sitting there, like each time you come out, like and you like, is this good? I'm like, not yet. We're not there yet. And finally.
Oh, by the way,
Exactly.
did anybody notice my T-shirt?
Oh, let's see. Nice.
All Sega consoles on one shirt.
That's awesome.
I'm not seeing a Sonic Edusoft.
Don't worry about it. Let's move on.
Did you see the Pico stuff though?
I see like Berenstain Bears and.
I thought that they had like a picture of the Sonic one. Did they not?
Not that I've found yet. So
Damn it.
going back to these last 10 or 12 pages.
We're getting some Twitter love on Simon the Alex Kid Cat.
Thanks, Katie.
And on Google Plus, people wrote in. They said they want the cat featured in an upcoming episode.
Okay, if I can get my camera working, it's going to happen.
Maybe bring the cat also.
What to?
Sonic Boom.
Could do. He's technically my housemate's cat, but he always loves me. He sleeps on my bed and stuff. So. I might upload a picture of him on Twitter from this morning where he was just lying on me ridiculously. Oh, little dude.
All right, so
Yeah.
why don't we talk a little bit about our favorite guilty pleasure Sega games? So, Graham, why don't you start?
I think I might have mentioned this before on the Nerdcast, but mine's Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg for the GameCube, because I tell you what, I still think it's a great game.
It is a great game.
Yeah, it didn't seem to get... It's around the time that... it's just after the Dreamcast, obviously, and I don't know, a lot of people were expecting more from it, so it didn't get that good reviews, but I went back and played it recently. The graphics are great.
Yeah, it's actually a really good game. I really love that one.
The gameplay's tight. I don't understand why people... It's perhaps not your more traditional platform-style game, I guess. It's kind of a puzzle platformer, and some bits are actually really tricky, I found. It looks like a really kiddie game, but some bits were actually quite frustratingly difficult. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
I wish that game was for the Dreamcast,
Don't be wrong.
not for that one. I actually bought it on PC.
Yeah. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got quite a good multiplayer mode as far as I remember. I haven't been able to play multiplayer for a long time.
You can buy it on PC digital download from Amazon, I believe.
Yes, I have that version also.
Oh, awesome. Let's actually we wouldn't be able to play it over the no. Damn it. Never mind. I was going to say we could all download it and play it, but like
Yeah, it actually plays better with the Xbox 360 controller than the GameCube one.
Yeah.
GameCube controller is kind of shitty.
All right, Blake, you're up next. What's yours?
My guilty pleasure game is probably going to be McDonald's Treasureland Adventure for the Sega Genesis.
That's a guilty pleasure, but it was really well done by Treasure.
Yeah, it's a super easy game. Even if you set it up to the hardest difficulty mode, it's still pretty damn easy to get through. But it's, Treasures, I think it was their first game, but it came out in the United States after Gunstar Heroes did. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But yeah, you play as Ronald McDonald, and you go through all sorts of different really colorful levels, and you have a grapple scarf that plays kind of similarly to Dynamite Heady's grapple head. So you can kind of see how they developed along that line. And it's actually just a lot of fun to play. You upgrade your magic, and you can... it's essentially a 2D platformer for anyone that hasn't played it. It's actually going up in price in the last couple of years. It used to be a really cheap and easy game to get. But I think with its Treasure association, it's become a little bit more desirable. But, yeah, check it out.
I just got such a strong desire to go eat McDonald's hamburgers now.
Well, that was the plan all along for them, I'm sure. It's like,
bastards.
I'm going for a Big Mac after this.
Yeah. The Magnificent Kopke!
What's mine? Oh, mine is Fantasia. I mean, the game was so shitty, it was so bad. But the music was really amazing. That's what I liked the game. But the game was so bad, man. It is one of the games, along with Sonic Shuffle, that I regret ever buying.
Oh, Sonic Shuffle! I love that game.
No, I don't. I just went like.
Oh yeah.
Sonic Shuffle's bad.
Yeah, when I went buying Sonic Shuffle, I was in the store and was watching the intro movie. It was, wow, this movie is so cool. That sold me the game. But once I went to playing on the Dreamcast, I was like, man, why did I ever bought this? And I actually have the game just to remind me that I need to be more conscious about my buying stuff. That's a reminder. That's like a warning right there in my room, saying, well.
One thing that I would like to add about Sonic Shuffle, I tried my ass off to play that game. I couldn't go. It took me days just to get to the second stage of that game. One thing I just have to praise about it is that it was probably one of the first Sonic games to not focus on Sonic versus Robotnik. So you got to give them props for that.
Yeah. Yeah, but I remember. There was a friend of mine who's really fond to video games that said, well, you know, there's always something good about a game. There's nothing that could have. There has to be a positive way about Sonic Shuffle. So we played it, and after we played it, he said, okay, you were right.
Oh, man.
I think what destroyed Sonic Shuffle was not so much the gameplay, because it was a board game, you know, so that's what you get. The problem was the developer. It was the same developer as Mario Party, and they had no experience developing for a CD-based console. So even though Dreamcast is like 10 times more powerful than Nintendo 64, it had phenomenal load times.
Oh god, yeah.
2 minutes for a fucking mini game, the game's done. It's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it made you wait for it though. Once you finally got it,
yeah, that's what you always want. Is you want to wait for it.
I love load.
This is gonna be amazing once it finally loads.
It gave you time. You're at a party. It gave you time to go get another drink, to go pee. What do you? That's convenience right there. It was intentional.
Oh man.
Don't talk shit about Sonic Shuffle.
Sorry, I really did.
All right, B, you're up next. What about what's yours?
While in the spirit of Sonic, probably my favorite Sonic game, not just a guilty pleasure. Sonic 06.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
Sonic 06.
I still think that's so underrated, that game.
It is. It is an amazing. Okay, before I get into the discussion, I was discussing with Blake in the production meeting. The way to enjoy this game is to understand that it is not a complete game. It is not a beta. It's an alpha. It's an alpha stage. Okay, and unlike Sonic Unleashed or even Sonic Generations, this game is built on the adventure model. So the play fields are massive. You can actually run around rather than just press the boost button and go from point A to point B. There's exploration in this game. It's amazing. However, it's plagued with bugs. It is an absolute train wreck of a game for a finished product. But if you can get past that, the level design is the best on Xbox and PS3. You will not find a better level design.
Speaking of load times, though, it loads before you even go up and talk to someone. Like you have to load that.
I finished the game, so I can just go to the mission mode and select the stage automatically. And Crisis Zone, like when I was playing Sonic Generations, I was like, what the fuck is this? I can't believe that they managed, like Sonic Generations totally destroyed Crisis Zone. Like the classic version of it was actually good. It was actually based on that stage. But the modern version, like he starts on a skateboard. If you take Shadow, he comes on like a Humvee or some shit. Like you had like it was a 3-act stage. It like excluding the load times, right? It was a 15-minute long stage. Tell me a stage in Sonic Generation that's 15 minutes long.
Yeah. Also, Sonic 06, have you played it recently? Because they actually did loads of updates, which actually made the game way less buggy. Because I went back and played, after I first bought it, I was like, I went back and played it like a couple of years later, and it's actually way better than I remembered.
Really?
Yeah, like loads of the bugs seem to be removed. And I was like,
I bought it in like 2010.
Oh, okay.
Like till 2012, because in fact, I had my family over. It was like in 2012 only, and we finished Sonic Colors, and we're like, what the fuck is this shit? All of us, we put back Sonic 06, and we played through Radical Train. You know when Robotnik's running away with the princess, and you got to go after the train.
Yeah.
That was like such an awesome stage, man. The only thing is you need to know where all the bugs are, because if you have the level memorized by heart, you can enjoy it. So
yeah, and actually,
this game is like for beta testers, okay? It's not for gamers.
And
Run is wonderful.
I can't remember if it's the last level, one of the last levels, where there's like these portals keep opening up and stuff. It gets really intense, and it's just like
that is the final. Yeah, and that's where the makeout session takes place.
Oh god.
Yeah, I just really enjoyed that level. It's like, this is awesome. This is like a proper last level in a game, and you don't really get that anymore in games.
One thing I don't know about other people, but I never looked at Sonic as an animal. He wears shoes. He's got So the way I looked at it, right? I wanted him
to. This is about to get really weird.
Already.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine. The way I looked at it as a Disney movie. Okay, instead of turning into Super Sonic, he should have turned into a prince.
Nice.
No, Chris is not laughing. Chris is not having it.
Yeah. And also, the storyline in the game was actually pretty good. I really enjoyed the story, like way more than a lot of other Sonic games.
But the thing is that people, rightly so, they associate Sonic to an animal. They don't want him hanging out with a human, and they get creeped out by that. But if you can distance yourself from that, and if you just look at the character, right, you have a character who's free and running wild, and then you have a love interest for him who's caged up, and she's not, she. So I enjoyed their interaction, right? When I know the lines, I can quote them.
We don't have to do that. I guess we should point out though that Sonic Team's original idea for Sonic the Hedgehog was he was going to have a human female girlfriend named Madonna.
Exactly.
So I guess there's.
Yeah, and cooler heads prevailed ultimately.
Thank you, Madeline Schroeder, for.
Yes, very much.
It was Madeline Schroeder who emphasized the whole Captain Planet theme. I don't even think Yuji Naka had a proper, or Naoto Ishima to be more specific, had a proper vision for him. He had like fangs, and they didn't know what he was doing. She was like, okay, you know what, environmentalism is pretty popular right now. And let's make him an animal that represents all the other animals rather than a weird whatever fang-like vampire hedgehog that they are trying to make.
I was a big fan of Count Duckula as a kid, so maybe that would have worked for me personally.
Yeah, that's what I did.
My guilty pleasure game is a Blue Stinger on the Dreamcast.
Yeah!
I have to go back because that was one of the very first Dreamcast games I ever bought, and I remember I loved it as a kid, and I still go back and play it. And as a matter of fact, I was just playing it yesterday, and man, the dialogue in that game is so good. Dogs is one of your partners or your friend that you meet up along the way in this game, and if you've never played Blue Stinger, it's essentially a rip-off of Resident Evil. It's that kind of style of game.
Come on, don't call it a rip-off, bro.
I'm saying if people, I mean, it's certainly a Resident Evil inspired game. I mean, absolutely. It was made after that, and I think it was definitely going along those lines with it. But it has some of the best dialogue I've ever heard in a game. Like, he just cusses for no reason. Like dogs will. He'll just say these, he'll just be like, "Oh shit!" And it doesn't even like go along with what's really going in the game at all. It's great. So just hearing him talk, I get excited every time he comes on screen.
You know that the voice actor for that game is Ryan Drummond.
Really?
Ryan Drummond, Sonic the Hedgehog himself, is in that game.
Brilliant.
So
yeah. It has some of the best music. I love the Christmas music in it. You're along in the game. You're basically having to go to this island that's being like taken over by these like alien creatures and things like that, and they're killing people. So you're going there to try to stop it. And along the way, you run through this like little area where there's all this Christmas music and there's Christmas decorations and everything. And it's got some awesome music there, and that's another thing that I really love about it.
The thing about that game was the Japanese version and the American version is very different. The Japanese version was actually in a way like Resident Evil because it had those cinematic camera angles that the early Resident Evil games were known for. But when Activision brought that game to the US, they ordered that just put a third person behind the back camera. I own that game. I tried to get into that game 2 or 3 times because the person who made the game has a good Sega history. His name is Toshihiko Sahashi-san. He passed away, I believe, in 2003 or 4, and it was very sad. The bulk of his career, like he made Blue Stinger, Ill Bleed, and one other game with Sega before he passed away. So I really wanted to get into that game, but something about the physics of that character, he's got massive feet and a small body. I just couldn't get past that, and I could never.
You know what that means, don't you?
Okay, well.
So that's why you like it so much.
I can relate to him.
Bravo, Chris, bravo.
All right. Let's get in and talk a little bit about what we've been playing really quickly before we get out of here. Blake, what have you been playing?
I mentioned I was working on a review for Echo 2, the Sega CD version of that, so I've been playing that. I played Streets of Rage on 3DS, the 3D Streets of Rage, played that a little bit. I also downloaded Power of Coin just to give it a try. I've been playing that this morning. I downloaded Dragon Coins first, so I played that one first.
Which one do you like better?
I might disagree with you and say I like Dragon Coins a little bit better. But, again, I haven't given this one that much chance yet. It just, the first battle in Power of Coin took me about an hour to finish. So maybe I just suck, and that's possible. But Dragon Coin, it just seems like it's a little bit easier to pick up and play for a few minutes and feel like you accomplished something. Whereas Power Coin, I pick it up and play it and think, okay, I'm going to have to leave this. I actually put it in my pocket and let it accumulate coins because I ran out, and every 30 seconds you get another one. That's why I left the game running, put it in my pocket, was walking upstairs doing stuff, came back, said, okay, now I can play this again.
Well, what you gotta do is spend a little money and buy 1,000 coins.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what they would very much like for me to do, and that's not gonna happen because I am cheap. But that's pretty much what I've been playing. So.
Graham, what about you?
Well, as I said at the start of the show, I picked up a PlayStation 3 the other day. Woo! So yeah, I picked up, just to let you know the games I picked up with it, I've got Valkyria Chronicles, oh yeah,
Yay.
Which is literally the only reason I actually wanted to buy a PlayStation 3, because I love that game. I've got Uncharted 1, 2 and 3, Infamous 2, Heavenly Sword, Yakuza 4, Yakuza Dead Souls, and a Ferrari game, which just...
Heavenly Sword is amazing, I love that game.
Yeah, I like the look of it, so that's one of the games I chose to get with it, basically. Most of the games I've got are pre-owned. There's a couple of them that are brand new, but it's like a pre-owned deal thing I got at Game, which is awesome. Really, I played a bit of Infamous 2. I have to admit, I'm not a big fan of it. I can't seem to get into it that well. I guess I'm sort of done with the open world sandbox superhero style games. I've been playing it a bit. It's fun, but I'm just not really into it. I've been playing a bit of Uncharted 1 as well, which I like, but it feels. This is really weird to say. It feels kind of dated already. There's certain, like, the AI elements of the game feel kind of ropey. Like, I've had enemies literally run up to me and like still trying to shoot me from like a foot away. I'm like, what are you doing? And sort of, just shoot me in the face basically. And yeah, and also don't like how you kill like 6 enemies will jump out and you kill them. You think everyone's gone. Then 6 more enemies jump out. You got to kill them, and then some more might just run up behind you. Like, what the hell? It's like bloody hell. It's like to move on to the next level. Not next level. Next area. You have to like kill waves of enemies, which that's not really my thing. But I am enjoying the game. The storyline's really good. I'm enjoying the platforming elements and stuff. Yeah, and really, I played a bit of Journey, the demo of Journey, which I really want to buy now because that's freaking awesome. And also Valkyria Chronicles, I've been playing a chunk of that, and I suck at that game. I've got through the first few battles, and then I'm just like stuck on one of the later battles, and I just can't get past it. So I think I need to do those skirmishes and level up my characters or something, because yeah, I'm really bad. But yeah, I think that's pretty much what I've been playing. So I need to get on to play the Yakuza games and stuff, and Heavenly Sword really. But yeah, I'm playing through like 3 games first, and then get on to the other games I guess later on. There you go.
Awesome. Kopke.
About Uncharted, did you know that the level designer of the game is I need to pronounce his name properly. It's Hirokazu Dashiwara-san. He is the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog and the lead level designer for the original trilogy.
Wow, really? Did not know that.
Creator of Sonic the Hedgehog himself.
Brilliant. Wow.
Nice.
Awesome. It all comes around. It's a Sega game, really. Yay!
All right, Kopke, what about you?
Okay, since the World Cup is coming up, I thought I would do a proper review for the site, so I chose Virtua Striker 2, which is a game that I love about soccer. And what I find really great about this game is that it is also a game to teach somebody who doesn't know a thing about football what the game is about, because it has like all of the systems, like the 4-4-2 formation for a team, or like 4-5-1 formation for a team, and explaining what the game is about. So I'm gonna do a review with it, and like starting to show what the football game is about to people who don't know what the game is. So I'm working on that. I hope to have a video review about it soon. And I'm also playing another Dreamcast soccer game, which was developed by Smilebit, which is Let's Make a League, 90 minutes, which was a Japanese release only, but was also for European countries. And I'm playing that just to do reviews for the site. I also will try to play Football Manager and explain what's the deal with it and why it is good.
You are a brave soul. I would rather shoot myself in the leg than.
No, it's a they're great games. You're gonna love it, Kopke.
Yeah, actually, I found out the system, and the system is really great. I actually felt like I was a manager. Actually,
yeah.
It has a lot of systems, and I can see why Electronic Arts dropped out of the competition, because it has nothing to compete with that game.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
All right, B, what about you?
What have I been playing recently? Well, let's see. We had this game for Dreamcast come out in 2009. It was called Dux, D-U-X, so pronounce that however you like. It had a very limited print run, only restricted to 1,000 units, and it sold out essentially like this. In 2012, they re-released it. I grabbed myself a copy. It's right here.
Lucky son of a gun.
Look at this game. Look at the artwork on this.
Yeah.
So
no, look at it.
This is an absolutely beautiful game. It looks like it belongs on the cover art of an iPhone or something. It's amazingly stylized. The music is serene and incredible, and the gameplay is a pain in the ass. My God, this game is the hardest game I have ever played. Now, check this out. This is my Dreamcast controller right here. I have had it since 2001. I have played every single Dreamcast game with this, and it nearly died while I was playing. The X button is now indented.
Oh God.
It doesn't come back out anymore because the designer of the game, it's a shoot 'em up, okay? And if you want to do rapid fire, you have to mash X. If you hold it, it does a charge shot. So I died like I ran out of continues in 3 minutes in the first stage.
Wow.
Okay, and it took, and I wouldn't give up, right? I played the game for 45 minutes straight just to get to the second stage and die again.
God.
This game is insane, and the developer was nice enough to send me an extra sealed copy of it. So guess what, guys? Sega Nerds is partnering with Dreamcast Scene to give away 1 copy of this game.
Yay!
Yeah, it's going to be on our Twitter, so just tell us if you have the balls to play this. If you think you are worthy, you can beat this game, the game is yours. All you have to do is just tweet us on Twitter, hashtag SNContest, hashtag DCS, hashtag UCast, which is the publisher of the game. All right? Okay. We will do a follow-up post on it. We will let you know when the contest is ending, but we have a lot more contests coming up. So if you think you're worthy to play some serious shmups, hit us up.
So yeah,
you can also include hashtag ovary balls.
So yes, you too can destroy your Dreamcast controller. Just yeah.
That sounds awesome. I always like to pronounce the game as Dukes, like Frank Dukes from Bloodsport. If you've ever watched that, it's the greatest Jean-Claude Van Damme movie of all time.
Okay.
And that's his name. It's spelled D-U-X. Frank Dukes.
Okay.
Like, put up your Dukes. There's a couple of lines from the movie. I've only been playing Blue Singer this week, so I won't continue on there. I talked a little bit about that, but now it's time for our parting shots. Basically, if we have anything that we weren't able to talk about during the show, before we end it, we're gonna do this little bit parting shots. One thing that I want to mention is the Microsoft this week. I don't know if you guys had heard, but they trademarked a new Phantom Dust game, and Phantom Dust is one of my all-time favorite games. As a matter of fact,
what happened?
I have it right here. It is one of my favorite Xbox games, and actually the developer, the creator of Phantom Dust, is, I don't remember his name offhand. Why did I forget? Yuko Furetsugi, who is yeah, I know, any Japanese name I forget, but he's the guy that did Panzer Dragoon. That's him. So he and more recently did was it Crimson Dragon?
Yeah.
Did that on the Xbox.
And a board game for mobile, which is also a physical game.
And he also did Journey of Coin on the iOS. Just kidding, he didn't do that. Another coin game. But yeah, so I heard this, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got so excited because for a new Phantom Dust game, I've been wanting it for so long. There's people out there that have been, wanting this game, and it looks like it's going to finally happen. And I'm going to tell you what, if Microsoft at E3 announces Phantom Dust coming exclusively to the Xbox One, I'm going to buy an Xbox One to get it. I will do it. For this game alone, for Phantom Dust 2, I will buy an Xbox One, and that will be all I need to play on that.
It's probably going to be Connect-only controls, you realise.
Oh my god.
Not anymore.
Oh yeah, true, not anymore.
This whole PS4, Xbox One thing, the graphics are identical. I don't know why they're forcing us to spend so much money, man. That's not cool.
Yeah, but it's crazy. I always associate it with Majesco because Majesco published it. I thought that they owned the rights to it, but it's actually Microsoft Game Studios was the developer. So I'm not sure why Microsoft didn't just publish it themselves also back then, but they had Majesco do it. Majesco, during the Xbox era, the original one, my favorite publisher. They also did Advent Rising, Spy vs. Spy, and a few other really good games back
There's
in
some
the...
good games on the Dreamcast, I think, as well.
Yeah, so...
Anyway, yeah.
That's my parting shot. Graham, do you have one?
I do. This is kind of... it's basically... Yeah, I just want to say how crappy the PlayStation 3 service is.
Whoa.
Compared to the Xbox 360. Okay, right. People, I know PlayStation fans who for years bitched about how you had to pay basically for Xbox Live Gold, like getting good service, play online and stuff. And I've got I play for PlayStation Plus. So I've got a Vita and a PSP, and I just playing. Okay, Vita. I think the Vita is amazing. Like how it works and everything, brilliant. PlayStation 3, I'm just so frustrated at it. Basically, for example, when you download a game, you tell it to download, and like, okay, on the Xbox, you want to download a game, like a trial of a game or anything, you hit download, starts downloading, goes in the background, you can then go and do what you want, you can play another game, you can watch a movie. PlayStation 3, you hit like download, you then have to tell it to download in the background, which it does this weird sort of preparing thing, which on a couple of games I've tried, it's taken like 2 or 3 minutes. I'm like, okay, I have to wait 3 minutes for it to tell it to download in the background. The downloading takes ages. I'm on the same connection here with my Xbox, and my Xbox downloads way quicker. And then once it's downloaded, you then have to tell the game to install. I'm like, what? It's just like simple things. I mean, I'm not slicing the console on like its graphic ability or its games.
It's because the games are so powerful that
the games are great. The games are beautiful. I don't think there is like the graphic wise. I don't think they're as amazing as it. Like I think the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. They're basically comparable in my eyes.
But
also the games weigh more. Like for example, I think it was Hell Yeah was about I don't know, like 20 megs or 20 megas or something, and on PS3 was like it weighed a lot more.
It has 6 mega power on the PS3.
No. The thing is that it has a Linux based operating system, so it has to do a lot of more procedures than doing on DirectX, like on a PC architecture for the Xbox.
I just think, oh man, I don't know. Basically, I'm happy to pay like £40 a year for Xbox Live Gold to get better service. Basically, I just yeah. I like the PlayStation 3 games. I think it's a great system. I just wanted to bitch about how surprised I was at how frustrating the user interface was and how downloading a game just like what? And some of the games I had like 4 games which got download errors as well. And I don't know. I'm just frustrated. There you go.
I would like to add to that. You see, I actually started with an Xbox 360 and I went to a PS3 because at the time, if you go back like 5-6 years, the PS3 had a better interface than Xbox 360. The service of PS3 is still better. However, the interface of Xbox has always evolved. Every year they would revisit it and give you a new graphical user interface. Whereas PS3 has essentially stuck with the same interface at launch. They have not evolved it, which is why the 360 might be better right now. However, if you have been using PS3 for a few years, you know how to use the system. And the service is great. The Xbox service is not great. Like in PS3, I got binary domain for free. I got so many. Every month there's a game that you get for free. You don't have that service. Like I believe at E3 they announced that Halo 2 would be available. Wow.
Okay, I think getting the free games is fantastic each month, but at the same time, it's like I don't know. It just seems so unintuitive the way you have to download things and stuff. And
I completely agree with you. And Sony never bothered, upgrading the interface. They should have. However, the service, like I agree that the interface is bad, but the service is better.
We might have to disagree on that. I feel like they're almost bribing people to pay for PlayStation Plus by giving them these free games. Because if you stop paying for it, you lose those games straight away. Which, I mean, I'm happy to pay for PlayStation Plus because I do enjoy the free games, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. Basically, I'm just frustrated by like comparing it to what I'm used to, and considering the Vita. the Vita just works so beautifully. I think the Vita's amazing. But I know that's a newer system and it's all different. But yeah. Anyway, that's literally my parting shot. I'll stop it there. Yeah.
All right. Anyone else?
Right.
Okay. Go.
Who? Me?
Go with
Alright.
it.
I went through the magazine. I did find the Pico stuff, especially at the beginning of the magazine.
I told you the
At the
beginning.
You said the end!
I'm just
Right.
kidding. I said
It's definitely somewhere at the beginning, middle-ish. But it doesn't actually list Sonic in here. It does have an image of Tails and the Music Maker, if that is visible
Okay.
right there. And Echo Jr. there. So this is the August-September 1994 Sega Vision. So if you want to know more about Sega's Pico, check that out. Other than that, we didn't do like pickups this
Oh
week.
yeah. Whoops.
So I didn't get any games, but I did get this shirt in the mail. It's from a company called Ripped Apparel that does $10 shirts on a daily basis. And can you see this?
Nice.
It's
Yeah.
really dark. But yeah, it's a Sega Genesis Model 1 system. So it's not available anymore, but every day they have a new shirt or a couple of shirts, and they're always $10. And again, the company is RIPT Apparel, so if they want to send me money for plugging them, they can. But let's see, my last plug was Master System games. If you don't know, and it seems like a lot of people don't know this, the Virtual Console on the Wii, the original Wii, or if you have a Wii U and go through the Virtual Console Wii service, there's actually a lot of Master System games on there. All of the Wonder Boy games are on there, if I'm not mistaken. All of the Alex Kidd games are on there. There's quite a bit. Fantasy Zone, I think all the Fantasy Zone games are on there, at least part 1 and 2, maybe not Maze. But they're $5 each, so if you were interested in checking out any of those Master System games and you don't have the system, maybe give that avenue a shot if you have a Nintendo. So, not trying to plug Nintendo on here, but it's a good way to go. And that's it for me.
Okay. Anyone else?
Let's go with Magnificent Copkey and then I'll end it.
Okay. I just say that alcohol is good, so you can buy like stuff like this to make your drinks better, like tiki drinks. And there's another book like this one, and there's another book like this one that makes you like really sugar flavored drinks that are really awesome. My favorite one is Aku Aku. I actually got into tiki drinking when all the times that I went to Spain, because one of my best friends is Spanish, and each time I went to summer, I was like, oh, how do you think that I could visit you for a couple of months? And I was like visiting him, and there was this great bar that was called Bora Bora, which is a bar where people which is an official bar where people can, how do you call that? To cheat on your
Texas.
on your fiance, on your girlfriend or whatever you want to do. So. But the good thing is that the bar gives you like this really fashion drinks with a lot of sugar that are based on tiki drinks with these great glasses that have like this totem heads and this kind of stuff. So we got really into this kind of drinking. So there are like really great beverages that you can experiment. So try tiki drinks, and they're really really tasty and really good to try rum and sugar flavored stuff, which is good.
You have
Don't
now
do that more
become
often,
voted.
so-
You are now voted in as the official Sonic Boom bartender.
Yeah, I can do a lot of good drinks.
And
if you give me
speaking,
the proper bottles.
nice. Speaking of Sonic Boom, we'll show you this one last picture, and we will get out of here for the week. Now, this is if we successfully vote Graham in, this is basically what he's going to end up looking like. So I did this while we're in the show. Hope everyone likes what they see right there. Look at those legs, Graham. Oh my gosh, man.
Yeah,
Quite
that's
a
exactly
looker.
that's what my legs look like. Fantastic.
When we're
Oh,
done with
man.
you, that's what you'll look like.
I think I've got bigger breasts though.
Oh yeah.
That skirt's a lot shorter than I remember.
This is the one you're going to be wearing. Look at those heels. You also have to learn to walk in some heels.
Crap, I've never walked in heels before. Well, better late than never, I guess.
All right, that's going to wrap up this week's show. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/the SEGA Nerds, or I should say like us. You should follow us on Twitter. It's twitter.com/SEGA Nerds. YouTube, you can find us on youtube.com/user/SEGA Nerds, and you can also find the podcast on Stitcher, as well as iTunes and everywhere else. Be sure to review us on iTunes and Stitcher. We'd like to see some more of those. Absolutely. So anyway, I think it's going to do it for us this week. So guys, I will leave you with this lasting image of Graham burned into your eyeball. For everyone else, we'll make sure to. I think I'm going to post this on Twitter right after the show and let everyone see what Graham would look like in a Sonic the Hedgehog costume. So.
That's funny.
All right, guys.
Face from?
This is Facebook.
Oh, brilliant.
What's funny is it was a picture of Graham in makeup, in women's makeup.
Oh yeah, no, I did do that. Yeah.
So, he has a history of dressing up like a woman. So. All right, that's gonna do it for us. We'll see you guys next week.
Happy Memorial Day, guys.
Happy Memorial Day.
See you, pals.
See ya.